I've got two, you've got none. Have one of mine, don't pay me back, pay it forward. If a capitalist had two bicycles and you had none, he'd try to sell you one of his for more than he paid for it. Under communism or socialism, the party would confiscate both bicycles and give them to a party official. What we need is something different. We need a third alternative. We need a system where I would simply say to you, hey, look, I've got two, you've got none. Have one of mine, don't pay me back, pay it forward. The day we become more interested in how much we can give rather than how much we can get, everything will change. The day we start trying to help the Joneses keep up with us instead of keeping up with the Joneses, everything will change. When we can move away from a system based in fear and meanness towards a system based on love and generosity, everything would change. The government are trying to bring in central bank digital currency backed up by a digital ID. We must not let this happen. If ever it does happen, money will no longer be fit for purpose. Let that sink in. Money will no longer be fit for purpose. If we have a programmable central bank digital currency where the government can decide where we spend our money, how far from home we're allowed to spend our money, and what we're allowed to spend our money on, and where they can turn our money off if we criticize the government, money will no longer be fit for purpose. So rather than fight against that, it makes more sense, to me at least, to build an alternative system that isn't based on money. An alternative system based on freely giving and freely receiving, with no government interference. So how do we get started? Well, obviously we've got to start small. We can't just transform the whole world or the whole country overnight. I suggest we start with community gardens, grow our own food communally with no money changing hands, and we throw these gardens open to people who don't garden. Let the plumber join, let the electrician join. And if you've been feeding him and his family all year and you have a burst pipe or you need your hay for your wiring, he'll come and do it for nothing. There are there are several websites such as FreeCycle and other alternatives, which I'll put below in the show notes, where you can give stuff away for free. It's normally, the idea normally is you give stuff that you no longer need away for free, but there's no reason why we can't use those websites to make stuff and to give away and put on the websites. I've started a website called Let's Help Each Other to Thrive, www.letshelpeachothertothrive.org, where you can post the services that you're prepared to provide and the services that you need with no money changing hands. Many, many years ago, I was a member of a Let's scheme. Let's, I think, if I remember correctly, stands for local exchange trading. Local exchange trading. I think I've got that right. And it was down in Kent. There's lots of them all over the world, but the one I was involved in was down in Kent. and Kent's a big hop growing area, so we called our local currency, our pretend local currency, hops. And we used to pay each other in hops with these little pretend checkbooks we used to have. And I spoke up at one of the meetings and I said, look, this is crazy. Why don't we just tear up the checkbooks and just do stuff for each other for nothing? But nobody was ready for that. Mind you, this was 20, 40, 30, 40 years ago. So, hopefully we're a bit more advanced now and we're able to think about these things. But everyone was scared that somebody was going to get something over on them, that somebody was going to get a better deal than they were getting. And it's this fear-based paradigm that's been holding us back for thousands of years, and we need to overcome it. The object has to be to try to give more than we receive. That will completely flip the narrative. Anyway, if you're with me on this, join a local community garden, such as the one I helped to run in Glastonbury in Somerset. I'll put the details below in the show notes if anybody's local and wants to join up. Or another one, there's lots of them wherever you live, join one. Sign up at Let's Help Each Other to Thrive. It doesn't cost anything. Nothing costs anything, that's the whole point. Okay. A better way really is possible.